Hello, and welcome to the first episode of In Review, where I'm going to be giving you my review of some wrestling shows. So, in this case, it will be Smackdown, so let's get straight into it. So, the show starts with Drew McIntyre getting kicked out of the building. Obviously, he has been suspended. So, he's in his car. Cody Rhodes just pops his head in. Remind me of The Shining. I thought it was quite cool, though. So, Cody Rhodes kind of jumps in the car, attacks Drew McIntyre inside of the car. Drew McIntyre drives off in the end, and Cody, storming his way out to the ring, basically calls out Nick Aldis, kind of. Says he wants Drew McIntyre to be freed from his suspension. Quite looking forward to that because I feel like they're going to have a match. Maybe McIntyre will end the reign of Cody Rhodes. You can only hope and pray. So next up, we have DIY and Carmelo Hayes backstage. Basically talking about the United States title and the Open challenges, and basically Tommaso Ciampa and Carmelo Hayes. Johnny Gargano didn't say much, so I feel like he's not really going out of his way to come for that US title just yet. So after that, next up was Damian Priest's little vignette announcing the return of Rhea Ripley into the little Terra Twins group, even though they're nowhere near the same age. So so even in the odds, that is obviously them talking about Aleister Black and after Zelina Vega and all that fireball stuff. So they announced that there will be a mixed tag team match next week on Smackdown. So next up then we have Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship. Obviously got the history back in NXT. Carmelo Hayes hit some pretty rough elbows. That's just one of my notes from the match, by the way. But he hit some elbows like right into Dragunov's head. I thought it was a bit brutal for Melo. I mean, Dragunov don't care, he's a bit manly, but some cool reversal spots in that match, especially Carmelo Hayes put his knees up to reverse the H-bomb from Dragunov. I thought it was a nice little cool reversal. So in the end of the match, Tommaso Ciampa took Carmelo Hayes off the top rope. Ilya didn't see it in the moment, and Carmelo Hayes gets hit with a torpedo Moscow. Carmelo Hayes got a nice little standing ovation at the end of the match, so I think he's going to be a face now. Not 100% sure. So the match between Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes, I give 3.25 stars to. Not a bad match, not the best. Obviously, the NXT matches, they had more time, so I guess they had more to work with back then, but still not a bad match. So next up on the show was a John Cena video package recapping the whole Time Is Now tournament, showed the returns of Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder. So after that Cena video package, we go backstage to LA Knight. So he talked about how he's going to give Gunther the fight that he wants. Then we had a nice little look back at John Cena and AJ Styles' match from the Royal Rumble 2017. Yeah, great match. So next up, we move into Alexa Bliss versus Kairi Sane. Yeah, so this was the first ever matchup between Bliss and Kairi Sane. So both Asuka and Charlotte got involved on the outside, pulling people off aprons and all that sort of jazz. They didn't get kicked out in the end, did they? I don't think they did. But finishing the match, Kairi Sane went for the insane elbow, got reversed into a Sister Abigail. Bit I don't know, it looked quite cool, but it was a bit stupid and it doesn't really make sense when you think of it. So I gave that match 3 stars. I thought it was quite good. I like both women. Not a bad match. So post-match, Nia Jax and Lash Legend come out to attack both teams, actually, not just the faces, the winners. Both teams got attacked after the match, making it clear they wanted to challenge for the tag titles in the future. Going backstage again, then we see Cody Rhodes talking to Nick Aldis about Drew McIntyre just a little bit, and then Oba Femi and Ricky Saints talking to Nick Aldis as well. Cody announced to both of them that the winner of their match tomorrow night at Deadline, they will face Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event. Pretty cool. So next up we had not a very good match. Jade Cargill versus Alba Fire. Kind of a squash match. Well, it is a squash match basically. But yeah, Julia and Kiana James attack Chelsea Green on the outside, and then Jade Cargill takes out Alba Fire, hits the Jaded, got the win. I mean, there's not much you can do in a squash match, but I mean, this is just poor. Like, just 1/4 star, not even 1 star, just 0.25 stars. So we see Ilya Dragunov backstage then, not happy after how the match ended earlier, after realising that Ciampa actually helped him to win the match without him even knowing. Another weird sit-in with Tama Tonga. I don't know what we're doing there. Do people want that? I don't. No offense, Tama Tonga. Next up, we see Jade Cargill backstage after a win. Talk to Mia Yim, little confrontation thing. So I assume we're going to get that match at some point soon. I'm not fussed on Jade Cargill. I don't think she's that good. She's okay. So coming up to the ring then is the MFT Solo, Sikoa and his little gang. Basically they're saying they're going to take away the Wyatt Six's legacy. And even Bray Wyatt's too. So after that, about to leave, lights go out. Wyatt Six are there. Howdy and Solo staring off in the middle of the ring. So then a big brawl commences. Stare down between the two big men, Rowan and taller Tonga, or Hikuleo. The Miz not happy being left off the Saturday night's main event card. Talking to Nick Aldis backstage. Yeah, Bailey pops up then, who does have a match, however, and will be facing Sol Rucker, which pretty good match. Pretty excited for that. Should be a good match. I like what they're doing with all the NXT people as well, getting them involved. So next we hear from Gunther getting interviewed backstage. Basically just says he's going to beat LA Knight and then beat John Cena. Tells John Cena to pay attention to how he's going to beat LA Knight in the main event. Next up, we got a vignette from Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, basically replying to what Rhea and Priest said earlier on. So off the back of that vignette from Black and Zelina Vega, they announced the 3 matches made for next week, which is Aleister Black and Zelina Vega versus Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest in a mixed tag match. Also confirmed is Ilya Dragunov versus Tommaso Ciampa for the United States Championship, and also Alexa Bliss back in action against Lash Legend. So then we get into the main event, Gunther versus LA Knight. So in the match, LA Knight hits AA from John Cena and a Burning Hammer, paying homage to the 2 goats right there. Gunther hitting a pretty lethal combo, German suplex, a lariat, then a splash, then a powerbomb. Still kicked out though somehow. LA Knight hitting a BFT. It was a good counter from Gunther's move. Gunther got his foot on the rope. Gunther hitting some lethal elbows. There's been a lot of lethal elbows in Smackdown today. Not sure what's happened there. So in the finish of the match, Gunther hitting them lethal elbows and some weird looking submission move. I don't know, tapped out to it. Is that a weird STF? So I think that's what Gunther meant when he told Cena to watch the match. Maybe he's going to make Cena tap out. Yeah, it was a weird looking submission. Yeah, so Gunther finally wins the Blade tournament. It dragged so much, that tournament, though, I don't know. So that match I gave 3 3/4 stars. The whole show together, overall I'm going to give it 2 3/4 stars, I think. The match was pretty decent, better than I thought. I haven't watched the show for quite a while, so maybe I underestimated the matches. I mean, I thought they were really shit, like normally when I watched it not long ago. But yeah, the Jade Cargill squash match, quite poor. Other matches were pretty good, to be fair. Nothing like amazing. Segments wasn't bad. The Priest and Aleister Black ones, like, they're okay, but not very engaging. But yeah, like I said, I can't remember the last time I watched a full SmackDown episode the whole way through. I do remember it being worse than what it was today. Maybe this was a good episode compared to the rest of them, but I don't know. The whole year I haven't really been enjoying WWE shows at all. Even last year, like, there's not much enjoyable shows at all. Even pay-per-views, like, they just seem to drag, and the matches aren't even barely watchable. So that about wraps it up for the first episode of In Review of SmackDown. Quickly, I'm going to mention that I will be attending AEW Collision in Cardiff and also AEW Dynamite in Manchester. I'm also going to a Rev Pro show in Cardiff as well, so I might do a In Review episode on that, but not 100% sure yet. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this video. Bye bye.